To honor Maharaj, this your esteemed seat here, Maharaj, on the sofa. Your grandfather. So, thank you to His Holiness Bhakti Vigyan Vinashak Maharaj. That's his name. He's been initiated by our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. So, to talk about Prabhupada, we need several sessions, which I'm sure you should be already getting enthusiastic about it. But to just short to say, Maharaj received his Diksha, what we call as initiation. To make our spiritual life more strong and steady, we need a guru who will guide us, a living guru. And thereafter, this is the parampara system that we follow, that we take initiation from those gurus who are following a parampara, a disciplic succession. And we follow Gaudiya Brahma Sampradaya, where Prabhupada initiated Maharaj. Maharaj is basically from London. And it seems Maharaj is initiated in the year 1971, which is 54 years old, as old as me. Yeah, 1971. And since then, Maharaj is very sincerely, truly serving the mission of Srila Prabhupada and the teachings given in our scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharaj also gives initiation to various disciples who are very strong, who are keen in following the spiritual path as given by Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj guides the disciples and all the other sincere devotees who wants to spiritualize their bhakti very well. So Maharaj gives wonderful classes, lectures, and he's also a teacher in Mayapur Institute of Vedic Knowledge, teaching in deeper Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav, which is a deeper study in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the Upanishads and so on. So without any due delay, we request Maharaj, what could we do? We'll sing, do the bhajan, and then you would give a class, or we can do vice versa.
Yeah, just some bhajan.
Kirtan. So should I go ahead?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So with Maharaj's permission, we'll have some short kirtan. I believe everybody likes to sing. One second. So if you love to sing, we have certain things that we love to keep this devotion in a high inspiration. So because we feel we're all looking for that positive vibration, so we have a call and response kirtan standard where I sing and you all respond back. It is said that sing as though no one hears you, but Krishna is hearing you. So do not feel shy to sing and utter the names of God. You all have your own instruments, personal instruments, which are your hands and your mouth to sing. So use your hands to clap. And it is said that when you clap for Krishna in a kirtan, all the negative, the hand marks which is there, turns into positive markings in your hand. So kindly, this is the most important moment in our lives where we involve our mind, our heart, our mouth and our hands to sing for Krishna. So the song what we are going to be singing will be the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That is the most important mantra for this Kali Yuga. Dharma. That's what we say. What is the righteous deed if I have to do in this Kali Yuga, in my human birth, is to just simply chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra from your heart. And you will see the manifestation of Krishna within our heart, because your mind becomes more calm and it feels more relaxed. That's what we are searching for. If everyone is searching for peace and happiness in this room, are you ready to join the kirtan? Yes. Thank you so much. So we will, with the support of my friend Lavanya and with Pranav and with Maharaj, I am taking this due opportunity to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Let us first, have you heard this mantra before? In any time? So let us have one small practice before we get into singing. is very 16 syllable mantra. Okay? Hare Krishna, repeat after me.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
This is the mantra. So we'll try to chant one more time. Hare Krishna. I'll do twice, okay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So just 3 words, and we are putting it in a nice space. Just Hare, Krishna, and Ram. So these are the just 3 words which we need to repeat it at the right time. And you should not mix the mantra, okay? Not Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Rama, Rama Krishna, all this. So it's a way that is given by by Supreme Lord, who comes as in a devotee form as Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So Maharaj will talk more, perhaps more on that. So without any due delay, we will start chanting this mantra into a beautiful melodious tune. I'm not an expert singer though, but I'll try my best to keep the vibration, the motivation, and our devotion to a good level. Yeah? So with due respect, I just chant. We will chant like a Mangala Charan. Okay? We'll chant a Mangala Charan that we usually chant before we start, and then we'll chant going into the Mahamantra. Bhajan, just to all of you to feel more comfortable with what? To remember this mantra, we have to have the presence of Krishna and Radha in our mind. So the simple bhajan, Bhajamana Radhe Govinda, Bhajamana Krishna Kanaya. All of you are familiar with this? So let us have some small bhajan and we move on to the Hare Krishna mantra. And probably I'll just take about 15 minutes of the kirtan. So let me start with Mangala Charan. Please put your hands, closing your eyes. Namahum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. If everybody would love to chant along with me, just to start. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Jamana beautiful image of Sri Krishna, who has got a beautiful looking face, the blue face, the red dimple like lotus lips, and the beautiful cheeks running red, having those little butter sliding around the corner of his lips. And not to forget about the beautiful curly hair falling all over his shoulders, and the peacock feathers sticking on his crown, and on his lotus feet, which is so red, like the palms are the color of the lotus, which is holding the flute and looking at the Yashoda Maiya. मैं नहीं माखन खायो, oh Maiya मोरे. I did not eat that butter, Maiya. सब लोग मुझे डांट रहे हैं, चित्त चोर बोल रहे हैं, माखन चोर बोल रहे हैं, पर मैं नहीं माखन खायो. And Yashoda Maiya saying, तुम ही माखन खायो, हे Krishna. So it's a good way to meditate on the beautiful form of God and chant this mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
So are you going to sit down?
Sorry?
Would you like to sit on the couch?
No, I'm okay here. I'll just be easier. The mic is set there. So,
Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita book or?
Bhagavad Gita, I have my laptop with me.
Okay.
But are you all familiar with Bhagavad Gita? Yeah? Really?
I have new ones in case I would like to also have. I just got a few. We have a few new ones, Maharaj, in case somebody would like to take it from.
Yeah. Who would like one?
Indonesian book.
Maharaj, do you want a table? Prabhuji, Maharaj,
Yeah.
do you want a table?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Let it be.
Okay. So usually we begin talking on the Bhagavad Gita with say a mantra, another mantra. You're learning a lot of mantras here. But it's not very big. Probably most of you have heard it before. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Right? You know, huh? You know? So I would say you repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Right? We're offering our obeisances, our respects to Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the name of Lord Krishna. So we're offering our respects to him. This Bhagavad Gita, of course, is spoken by Lord Krishna. And it's a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. So they're on the battlefield at Kurukshetra. Have you ever been to Kurukshetra? No? You've been there? Yeah. Good. Yeah, Kurukshetra is the place it's Haryana. Nice place. Holy place. Colleges are there. Anyway, 5,000 years ago, before our time, right? No, not before our time. We were also there, different places. We're all eternal souls. We're all spiritual beings. You know, now we're in this material body, and we identify with the material body, but actually we're all eternal souls, spiritual beings. And we have been in many different places, at many different times. And maybe a long time ago we were all together some other place. And again, by the will of nature, somehow we've come together again today. So 5,000 years ago it happened. There was a great battle. one of the great battles of the world. Just like in Ramayana there was the battle of Lanka, and so in Mahabharata there was the battle at Kurukshetra between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. So the Pandavas actually, they're also Kauravas, but somehow they were, due to family intrigues, family disputes, there was some separation between the Pandavas and Kauravas. Kauravas meaning 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was the blind king, and he had 100 sons. So there was a bitterness between the two, between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. There was always some bitterness because of family problems. You know, it happens when the kingdom was usually would go to the eldest son, and there were two brothers. There was Pandu and Dhritarashtra. And Vidura was also a brother, but Vidura was born in the womb of the maidservant, Vidura. So Pandu and Dhritarashtra, they were two brothers. Pandu was the eldest. No, Dhritarashtra was the eldest. Dhritarashtra was the eldest. But because he was blind, that was not considered a good idea for him to be the king. And so the throne went to Pandu. But then Pandu also got problems, and he died quite early while his children were all young. And when Pandu died, his children were too young to become king, so Dhritarashtra became the king. And then Dhritarashtra wants the kingdom to go to his sons. And the Pandavas, they naturally wanted to have something themselves, because they were of the kingly order. So they thought, what's the good of being a king or being a Kshatriya if you don't have any kingdom? I'm a king, where's your kingdom? I don't have any kingdom. How can you be a king? Right? So the Pandavas were in that situation. So anyway, they were forced to go to war, and there was a great battle arranged. And all the kings of the world came with their different armies, and some were on the side of the Kauravas and some were on the side of the Pandavas. Anyway, Arjuna, who was the number 3 in the Pandavas, there's Yudhishthira, the oldest, and Bhim, and then Arjuna. And then 2 younger brothers, Nakula, Sahadeva. They're the 5 Pandavas. And the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, they're headed by Duryodhana. So it happened that Krishna and Lord Krishna said, I'm not going to fight. Right? He said, you can either have my armies, because both Duryodhana and the Pandavas, they tried to get Krishna on their side. But Lord Krishna said, no, I'm not going to fight, but I can be the chariot driver for someone, or the other side they can have my army. So it happened that Arjuna wanted Krishna on his side. So Krishna said, I will be your chariot driver. So we say, Partha Sarati, right? We have a temple in Delhi actually. If you go to ISKCON Center in Delhi, it's called, the deities are known as Radha, Partha, Sarati, because Krishna became the chariot driver for Arjuna. So Partha is the name of Arjuna, and Sarati is the driver, the chariot driver. So Krishna took that position to be the charioteer, to be the chariot driver. But what happens is when they get into the middle of the battlefield, then Arjuna starts to have doubts because he sees people, well, he knows that everyone there, of course, all of his relatives are there, and especially he sees people like his grandfather, Bhishma, and he's on the other side. And not only is the grandfather on the other side, but also his teacher, his military arts teacher, Drona, is on the other side. So Arjuna feels very reluctant to take part in the battle, because on one side is his teacher, who he loved very much. Arjuna was the favorite student of his teacher, but here they are coming to battle and they're on different sides. So difficult situation. So anyway, Arjuna comes into the middle of the battlefield and he sees all these people, and then he speaks a verse. Bhagavad Gita is all Sanskrit verses, you know. And some people, maybe you've heard some of them, like Lata Mangeshkar could sing the whole Bhagavad Gita, you know. So some people like to sing, and it's nice to learn. We teach children, many of the youngsters coming to our classes are learning these slokas, and they can recite them very nicely. They're poetic, you know. It's Bhagavad Gita. Gita, of course, meaning song. So it's a song, the song of Bhagavan. And this is one verse. This verse I'm going to read to you. This is spoken not by Krishna, but by Arjuna. Arjuna is speaking to Krishna, and he says to Krishna, he says, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava prichami tvam dharma samudacheta yashreyascha nischitam bruhitan me shishaste ham sadimam tvam prapanam. Right? So he begins like this. He said, Karpanya meaning Karpanya meaning miserliness. Miserly, to be miserly. Arjuna is speaking about himself. He said, I am confused about my duty, and I've lost all composure because of miserly weakness. So this miserliness which Arjuna is experiencing, this is due to his attachment to the body and things in relation to the body. The relatives, like his grandfather, his teacher, his relatives, all his nephews are there, Duryodhana and all his brothers. So Arjuna is feeling affection for them, and he's feeling it's not proper to go to battle, to fight with them. So this is his miser, Karpanya dosha, right? Dosha means, have you got any doshas in your chart? Have you checked out your chart? You check out your charts, you know, and they may say, oh, you've got a dosha here, you know. Maybe one devotee lady I know, she had some dosha, so they told her the first marriage will not be successful. What you have to do, marry a banana tree. First marriage, you marry a banana tree. Second marriage will be okay. That's one solution when you have a dosha, you know. Try to solve it like that. Anyway, this Arjuna is speaking about his weakness, his fault. His fault is miserliness. That he's attached. Just like, maybe you don't marry a man who's a miser, do you?
Yeah.
One lady told me, she said, I don't know if I should marry this man. My sisters all tell me he's a miser, you know. So it's not a very good idea. Anyway, miser, they have money, They like to count it. They don't like to spend it, you know. Like that's one kind of miserliness. Arjuna's miserliness is the body, that he's attached to the body and everything in relation to this body, which is his problem. And we all, in the material life, this is also a problem for all of us, that we're attached to the material world, we're attached to the body, the things we think, I've worked hard, I've done, I've endeavored so much to bring this together, to make this world my home, to make a nice house for myself, or an apartment, whatever, that I've been working, and now you're telling me not to be attached to it. So, human life, if we don't use the human life properly, then that is miserliness. Because the human life is special from other forms of life. Other forms of life. From the Vedas we learn there's life in all different living entities. Dog, cat, trees, birds, fish, they're all living entities. And they have life. They grow, they get old, and they also die. Just like human beings, they go through these different changes. We take birth, we grow for some time, then we may produce some offspring, have some children like that, and then gradually dwindle, and one day we also die, we leave the body. Death is actually the change of body. Bhagavad Gita explains the nature of life like that. The death is not the end, but death is simply the end of the material body. And this body is likened to the dress. Lord Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita like that. That just like I changed the dress, right? I came in a different dress and I put this dress on, and changed the dress. And so the body is like a dress. The body is not our real self, but it's just simply the covering of our real self. We are all spiritual beings. We're all eternal spiritual beings. But we have taken the material body, and we live in this material body for some time, and in course of time we will give up this body, and we will go on and take another body. In the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says something very interesting. He says that I taught the science of yoga. Bhagavad Gita is actually the science of yoga. 18 chapters, and each of the chapters are different kinds of yoga. What's being described in the Bhagavad Gita. Yoga is popular. Any of you are yogis? You do any yoga? Yeah? You do yoga? Yeah, good. Yeah, yoga. It's helpful to control the body and keep health. So, Bhagavad Gita is different kinds of yoga being mentioned. And by practicing yoga, we can learn to control the mind and the senses. So Arjuna, he had come into this middle of the battlefield, and he's confused. He's confused about what he should do. His duty, the sense of duty, what we would call dharma. that Dharma is the sense of duty, what we have to do. We have duties to perform. Maybe you're a wife or a mother, you have duties to perform. You have to do certain things to take care of the people who depend on you and who expect you to do things for them. And certainly we have parents, and maybe you have duties also for your parents, taking care of them. And in the same way we have also spiritual duties. Spiritual duties. So we want to understand that. So Lord Krishna was saying to Arjuna about how he'd spoken this Bhagavad Gita, the science of yoga, to the sun god. And then he went on to describe how the sun god, Vivishwan, he gave this knowledge to Manu, the father of mankind, and then Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. And in this way, saintly kings received the knowledge. So Arjuna heard this and he's a bit puzzled. He said, what? He said, come on, Krishna. I said, look, how could you give this knowledge to the sun god? He said, the sun god, so much senior by birth. You and I, Krishna, you and I are the same age. Arjuna's thinking, right? He says to Krishna, you and I are the same age. How could you give the knowledge to the sun god? And Lord Krishna then explains to Arjuna, he said, many, many births both you and I have had. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. This is the situation. We don't remember our previous births. Do you? No, don't remember. I don't remember. No. But certainly we had births previously. And the results of our activities in our previous life, they put us into the situation we're in today. Right? You get the results. We say in Hindi, you say, Jaisa karega, aisa parega. You know, that statement, that's in every culture in the world. In China, I often travel in China. My field is actually in the Far East, and I'm working more with Chinese people. So in Chinese they say, Zhong do de do, Zhong gua de gua. The meaning is that if you plant beans, you will harvest beans. And if you plant melons, you will harvest melons. In the Christian Bible they say, as you sow, so shall you reap. Right, it's the same principle. It's the law of karma. And karma is, we have karma from the past, and it causes us to take our birth, which we're in today. The things which are happening to us, you could say, there's karma, some karma there. Sometimes it's good karma, and sometimes it's bad. How to get rid of karma? That you can learn from Bhagavad Gita. You want to change your karma? We want to get rid of the bad karma? Read the Bhagavad Gita. Right? You have to read more. I'm not going to go into all that today, but I encourage you, if you haven't already got a copy, you can take one of these, We have a lot of copies of Bhagavad Gita. Our business is to distribute this knowledge. We don't like to be miserly, right? Miserly people, keep it for myself. I'm not going to tell you, that's miserly. You don't share it. You don't give it to anyone. So we like to distribute. We like to give. We like to be generous. In contrast to being miserly, we want to be generous and distribute this knowledge. Just like Krishna is telling Arjuna, many, many births we have had. I remember them. Krishna remembers them because he is the Supreme. He's different from us. We're not on his level. He is also spiritual, just as we are spiritual, but we are tiny, and he is infinitesimal. He is infinite. We are infinitesimal. We're very small, but he is infinite. He is very great. He is Bhagavan, right? So that's the difference. So he doesn't get confused. We get confused. We have to make decisions. It's not easy sometimes making decisions. One man got the Nobel Prize a few years ago he wrote about making decisions, how to make decisions. So Arjuna, he's in trouble here. He has to make a decision. Should I fight? Should I take part in this battle or not? Should I just want to go away. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to be part of the sinful reactions. Arjuna's thinking like that. But he was intelligent because he came to Lord Krishna. Well, Lord Krishna was with him. He was very fortunate because he was the friend. They had been friends for a long time. And they often talked together and they discussed about life and philosophies. They talked to each other. And now they're there at Kurukshetra. And the armies are there and they're waiting to fight. And in the middle of the battlefield, there is Krishna with Arjuna. And Arjuna's in this dilemma. What to do? What should I do? Should I fight or not? It's a big dilemma, a big decision to make. So, how does he resolve the issue? He says to Krishna, Shishasteham sadimam tvam. Now I am your shiksha, I am your disciple. I'm surrendered to you. Please instruct me. This is a wise decision. You see, take advice from Lord Krishna. We need to approach Krishna and hear from him. And he can guide us to make the right decision. Because he is not confused. He's not miserly. He's not bewildered by the situation. We're affected. We're disturbed. Oh, I don't know what to do. What should I do? It's often like that. It can be very perplexing. What to do? Should I do it? Should I do this or should I not? I mean, it's not easy making decisions. Sometimes you have a job. Should I take this? Or is there another job? Which is better? Or that job's paying more, but the conditions are not so. And the other job's not paying so much, but it's a nicer shit. You have to. What should I do? Or should I marry this man or not? I don't know if I really like him or not. These kind of decisions. There's always decisions to be made in life. Every day, should I cross the road? Oh, is anybody looking? Is there a car coming? We have to make decisions constantly. You go shopping, you have to make decisions. Should I buy this or not? All the time we're pushed to make decisions. So the big decision here for Arjuna is, should he fight? Should he take part in this battle? That's a big issue, life or death. If he wins the battle, then he can enjoy the kingdom. But if he loses the battle, he's going to die on the battlefield. And if he wins the battle, he's going to kill so many people who are near and dear to him. So he will feel guilty. He won't be able to enjoy the kingdom. So there are so many doubts that are in his mind. He's thinking, I want to be compassionate. I want to be kind. How can I be kind when I'm going to fight and kill people who are my relatives, people even who I love and respect? Bhishma and Drona, they're worthy of my worship, and I'm going to fight them and try to kill them. Where is my compassion? So Arjuna's thinking, there's a lot of doubts. There's good reasons why he doesn't want to fight. But he knows that he is confused. So when you're confused, you cannot make good decisions. You need to get help from somebody who is not confused, someone who is not bewildered by the situation. And Arjuna asked Lord Krishna, please instruct me. And to instruct all of us, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. Vyasadeva heard the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and he wrote it all down. And it's, of course, it was initially in Sanskrit and it's all translated. You can read it in your own languages. But it's very wonderful to read the Bhagavad Gita every day. Read a little. You don't need to read the whole thing every day, but read a little bit every day. And it can give a lot of solace to the mind. It can help us to overcome all the difficulties and problems which we face. It can help us to see the light, right? We need to see the light. When we're confused, we're in darkness. So the Vedas say, come to the light, don't remain in the dark. Ignorance is like darkness. So that confusion, that miserliness, that fault, that is like darkness. We want the light, right? We have the lights on. We don't want to be in the dark. Sometimes we say, I'm in the dark, I don't know. So come to the light. And how to get light? We get light from Lord Krishna. If you hear from Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna comes to this world. His mission is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe many of you may know the sloka. Paritranaya sadhunam
Vinashaya chadushita dharma samsthapanaya sambhavami yuge yuge.
Lord Krishna comes to this world in order to give pleasure to his devotees and to remove those who are the demons, those who are opposed to him. And he also comes to re-establish dharma, proper religious principles. So that's Lord Krishna's mission. And he does it by speaking Bhagavad Gita. He's speaking to Arjuna. He's going to guide Arjuna out of his confusion. And you will read at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, now I'm convinced. I'm ready to do what you ask. Arjuna wasn't sure what to do. But when after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, then he was convinced and he knew what he had to do. Lord Krishna said, if you haven't understood, I'm ready to speak the Bhagavad Gita all again. I'll speak it all again for you. The whole thing, But Arjuna said, no, it's all right. I've already understood. You don't need to repeat. And I'm ready to do what you want. So this was the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is ready to take up the instructions of Lord Krishna. And of course he came out successful. He was the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra. So we want to encourage all of you nice people. You should take advantage to read Bhagavad Gita. Keep it in your home. Keep it by your bedside. Pick it up regularly and read some sloka as often as you can, hearing from Lord Krishna and being guided by him. I came to know the Bhagavad Gita myself. I was studying. I studied engineering at the university. I started up in Edinburgh, in Harriet Walk, and I graduated from there. But while we were doing engineering, we had to take humanities. And one of the humanities subjects was a course on the Bhagavad Gita. But that course was taught by a Christian minister. Somehow he had some interest in the Bhagavad Gita and he taught us some little bit. But I really didn't learn much from him. But later on, after I graduated, I was living in London and I started to go to the temple there in London. They had a small center at that time in the beginning. You were all not born then, you know, a long time ago. You were in some other body, right? Some other place. But anyway, I was going there to the temple and I was hearing regularly from the devotees every evening. They would read the Bhagavad Gita. And I got so much help, I got so much knowledge from hearing them speak and read from the Bhagavad Gita. And I thought, this is something very valuable. I want to do something with my life which is valuable, and I thought it's very nice if I could also take up the missionary activities of Krishna consciousness, teaching the message of the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna arranged, I got this opportunity that I could spend so many years in the Krishna consciousness movement, learning myself and also trying to pass on what I've learned to others. And so, this is my little sermon to you today. Do you have any questions? Yes, Prabhu?
Why is it called Bhagavad Gita as it is? What is the as it is?
Yes, good question. Yes, why is it called as it is? Because there are many editions of the Bhagavad Gita. Many different people have written Bhagavad Gita, but often you'll find that when they write their commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, they don't give the actual message of the Bhagavad Gita, but they give their own philosophy. They take the Bhagavad Gita and use it to present their own ideas and their own thinking and understanding. But this Bhagavad Gita, which is called As It Is, Yatarup, right? That this Bhagavad Gita is presented in what is called parampara, or the message as Lord Krishna spoke it, it's passed on without any adulteration, and we're not presenting our own ideas, our own thing, but we're passing on what was taught, what was Lord Krishna's intention in presenting this. So other people, they write Bhagavad Gita not as it is, but as they want it to be, or as they think it should be, like that. But this is the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And you can understand the difference also. We can see the difference between the result of this Bhagavad Gita and so many other Bhagavad Gita. Now there are hundreds of Bhagavad Gitas. There's literally hundreds. So many people have written their commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. But their Bhagavad Gitas never made anyone a devotee. No one ever became a devotee from their Bhagavad Gita. No one ever took up Krishna consciousness or anything like that. But this Bhagavad Gita brought many people into the path of devotion. The Bhagavad Gita is actually presenting the message of bhakti, devotion. Although other yoga systems are also mentioned there in the Bhagavad Gita, it is bhakti which is stressed again and again in every chapter. And Arjuna's qualification also was that because he is a devotee. Lord Krishna said to Arjuna, why I'm teaching this to you? Bhaktosi me sakacheti rahashyam hiyetad uttamam. Lord Krishna said to Arjuna, because you're my devotee as well as my friend, therefore you can understand this message. So this Bhagavad Gita is actually to bring out the bhakti, the devotion. And all of us have that devotion. We have that devotion in us, but it's covered. We have to bring it out. We have to awaken it. And by hearing, the more we hear, you read the Bhagavad Gita, we realize that this is true. Now, at least I had that experience for myself when I heard about the nature of the soul and how the body is like a dress and how we're changing the body. I could immediately think this sounds right. This is true. It makes sense. And when I read things like Vidya Vinaya Champani, Brahmani Gavihastani, Suni Chaiva Swapakecha, Samo Pandita Darshana. Bhagavad Gita is describing the vision of the yogi, that he sees the elephant, the cow, the dog eater and the brahmana. He sees them all the same. He sees them all equally, because in everyone there is Paramatma. There's a super soul. Everyone is a spiritual being. We're in this body. We shouldn't think that we're any different from other living entities. Indeed, there are some people, they see plants and animals, they see them like brothers and sisters. Now, they do have things like protect, we don't like to harm animals, especially. There's the vegan philosophy, very popular. Any of you vegans? Any vegans? No?
I love milk.
Vegan? No? Vegan. Some vegan, they won't eat animal products. So they won't take any dairy products, and they won't even take honey, because honey is from the bee. So these things, so some people, vegan is, a little, they have respect for the animal life, some respect. Their knowledge is not complete, it's not spiritual. They have a material understanding. Vegans often do a lot of other things, They may not eat dairy products, but they may smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol and so many things. So,
Prabhuji, this is in English?
Yeah, English also.
As it is?
We have 2 copies today. One is in English and one in Hindi.
Okay.
If you don't have, there's a great opportunity to possess today. I just bought 2 and get it signed from Maharaj, so you can have your own copy. But in case all of you want, we can arrange.
I will like to have the English
Yeah,
one.
please directly take it from Maharaj. It's a small
of
donation
course.
of 25
It will be a
dirhams per
blessing
book.
for me.
Yeah, and with the blessings of Maharaj.
and if you can always get soft copies as well, and have it in your hand phone. A lot of people have in their hand phone, they have many books. You can have Bhagavad Gita there, and you can have many other books also. We can get the whole library of our Hare Krishna movement, and then you can read it all the time. But it's nice to have the hard copy. It's a sacred book. You're like bringing God into your home.
Yes.
In
My
the-
grandson is not English, so little bit. So yeah, I'll make him sit with me and I'll try to.
Very good, yes. That's very kind of you to do that. Yeah. We say we should not become a mother or father unless we can deliver our children from birth and death. Right? So you're giving knowledge to your grandson, you're helping him to come out of material consciousness, coming to a higher consciousness. Very nice. So, Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's teachings as it is. we have a line, there's a connection from Krishna, and then Lord Krishna gave the knowledge to Brahma. Brahma is the first living entity in the universe, and then Brahma gave the knowledge to Narad. Narad was one of the sons of Brahma. And Narad, he was a spaceman. He travels everywhere through space, chanting Narayan, but he has a lot of knowledge, and he gives knowledge everywhere, and he has many disciples. You know some of the students of Narada Muni, some of his disciples? Prahlad and Dhruv Maharaj, and also Vyasadev. Vyasadev was the compiler of the Vedas, and he'd written all the Vedas, he'd written so many books, but he was not satisfied. He was also feeling despondent that I've done so much, I've written so many books, but I don't feel any real pleasure. I feel something's lacking. And at that time Narada Muni came to him, and Narada Muni told him the problem is that because you have not emphasized the real position, the real duty of bhakti, of devotion to the Lord. He said, you have not done that properly. You've encouraged people in so many karmakandi things, and that was not right. You should have encouraged them in the highest thing. And therefore, after hearing that, then he wrote Bhagavad Purana. And Bhagavad Purana, that is the mature contribution of Vyasadeva. So Bhagavad Gita is like the beginning. Bhagavad Gita takes you to the point of surrender to Krishna. And then you can go on from there. After surrender, then you can go on to Srimad Bhagavatam. So there's no shortage of books to read, you know. There's so many things to be done in the spiritual path. Lord Krishna doesn't encourage people to be idle, but he likes us all to be busy. He likes us all to work. Just like he had Arjuna fight. He didn't tell Arjuna, sit down, I'll do everything. No, he told Arjuna, go and fight, do it. So Lord Krishna likes action. But we have to act in the proper mood, with the proper consciousness. And that the motivation must be pure. Arjuna was worried, he was confused, he didn't feel what he's doing is right. But then Lord Krishna guided him out of his delusion. And he became convinced, yes, I have to do it. So Bhagavad Gita as it is, through the parampara, Narada Muni gave the knowledge to Vyas, and then Vyas, he had his disciples, and it comes down to the present day. Our teacher, the person I took initiation from, he's the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, and he is actually the teacher of all the members of the society. Although he passed away, he wrote so many books, and his books serve as a guidance for all the members of the society. So he was the 32nd in the line, coming from Krishna. There's a line of teachers, and he's the 32nd member in that line. That is called parampara. When you have something valuable, just like mangoes are in season now, right? You get the mango, it's a delicate fruit. You don't just throw it to the ground. You know, it's not like apples or oranges. The mango is a delicate fruit. They will pass it down carefully from one to. In the same way, this knowledge is passed on from the teacher to the student, and then the student will pass it on to his students, and in this way the knowledge comes down. It should be passed on without any change, without adulteration. If you add anything, then it's not the, and if you take anything out, it's not the, right? So the teacher is like a postman. You don't have postmen nowadays, of course. Everything's electric, everything's email. But in the past, there was mailmen delivering the mail, and the mail, somebody sends you some money. We hope, right? Someone sends you money, and the postman's job is not to take anything out, or not going to add anything, just to deliver what you're meant to get.
It should be as it is.
Hmm?
It should be as it is.
Yeah, as it is, right. It should be, right? That's our Bhagavad Gita, as it is. And it's all explained, every word. It's Sanskrit, but the words are explained, every word is explained, the meaning, and you get the message. You read the Bhagavad Gita as it is, and you get the message that we should surrender to Krishna. First thing is to be understood, I am Brahman, I am spirit, Brahmasmi. And the nature of the soul, what is the nature of the soul? Joyful, blissful. You should be happy, right? Are you always happy? No. Why? Because we're thinking the body, right? We have to understand, I'm not the body, I'm a spirit soul, I'm a spiritual being. And the nature of the soul, Sat Chit Anand, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. We have to come to the spiritual platform. How to do? Read the Bhagavad Gita. You open this book and begin to read it, immediately you'll feel your consciousness transformed. Of course, the same consciousness, the same effect can be achieved by chanting the Mahamantra. When you chant the Mahamantra, there are two methods to chant the Mahamantra. We had Kirtan, but we also have Japa. And Japa is a more personal meditation. Kirtan is where we're all together meditating. But Japa is individual meditation. And we have our beads and we chant on the beads. We chant the same mantra, but we chant so that we can hear it ourselves. Kirtan we're chanting aloud for everyone, for the audience. It's a performance like. But Japa is for our own personal purification, our own benefit. And we chant that we can hear it, the mantra ourselves. So it's also very powerful, very effective. We encourage all of you, if you don't have beads, you should get some, keep a mala, and keep it, or you can get even a little wristband, a few beads on it, and you can chant. But make a habit to start to chant, and you'll see the difference. It's very powerful. It really can help a lot to overcome the miseries of the material world, the problems. It can help to guide us through the difficulties, through the confusion. Chanting. Are you chanting? Yes?
Every time in my heart, Lord Krishna.
Yeah, but you have to. The mouth has to move. We like to hear, right? Sometimes people say, I'm chanting in the heart. You don't hear anything. But when we chant a little sound, then it's more powerful. The lips should move, Because it's difficult to control the mind. You chant in the heart and let the mind, it's difficult. The mind wanders. One minute you're chanting, next minute something else, it goes away. So the sound is important. We call it Shabda Brahman, spiritual sound. Very powerful. That sound vibration. Bhagavad Gita is also Shabda Brahman. Krishna's words, Lord Krishna's own words. So, any other questions? There are 5 topics in the Bhagavad Gita. 5 topics. First of all, Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, and then Jiva, the living entity. Then there is time. Then there is material nature. And then there is karma. Now, of these five, one is not eternal. Do you know which one is not eternal? Hmm? Five things are there. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, Jiva, the living entity, material nature, the Prakriti, and Kala, time, and then also karma, reactions.
Material body, material thing is not
But no, the material body is not eternal.
And it's not eternal.
Material, but the pradhan, the material elements are. The material, like this material body, what's it made up of?
earth, water, fire.
Yes, right. These elements are there, and they're all eternal. They go through changes. Now they're in the body, but they go through. But the elements are all eternal. Right? The body is not eternal, but the elements which make up the body, just like this house, that's made of so many elements, right? The bricks, the fire, the cement, the earth, all these things is there. So they're eternal. But the body is not. But they're transformed. They just go through changes. But the elements are all eternal. But karma is not eternal. Karma, that can be changed. And in the body there are five senses. You know? Five senses in the body. What are the five senses?
Ear, smell, taste, hearing,
Yeah.
seeing.
And which one is the most difficult to control?
Tongue, taste.
She knows. Yeah. Yeah. The tongue is the most difficult to control.
I would smell because it just flows.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can't really stop the sense of smell. What is it? Oh, the Shringa Chitta. Yeah. This is from the Shringa oil. Yeah. You can
This
smell.
is an oil that is used to bathe Nashinadev, collected, and it's scented as well. And we believe that when you apply this oil, whenever we go out, it protects us from all the obstacles, impediments.
Okay, what is it made of? Sorry?
All medicated oils, and with these oils it is done abhishek on Nrsimhadev.
Yeah, this is the prasad.
So whenever we move out, go to office, go to school, we always apply this oil. We are very thankful to His Holiness Vighna Vinashak Nrsimha Maharaj for giving us a very, very blissful class. So I'm sure you all take blessings from Maharaj. If this is going to be a beginning to embark in learning Bhagavad Gita, kindly get in touch with Nehaji. We are here to help to teach you, like as I said in the beginning. My objective is to make sure everybody knows your Bhagavad Gita. As Hindus, we should know our holy book. If somebody asks you what does your book teach, you should be able to tell at least 5 sentences about our holy book. And like as Maharaj said, this is one of the best things as a human we can do to deliver our own children. Charity begins at home. So we have to teach our children the holy book to pass the legacy on, because it is Sanatan Dharma, a timeless wisdom. So do take this opportunity to get in touch with Nehaji. I'm ready to come here, do some sessions, and we will have such pure people to come over and give us more knowledge. So if you'd like to learn, read, memorize the Gita, do get in touch. I just have 2 copies today, one in Hindi and another in English. So it's just with a small donation of 25 dirhams. You can ask for it. I can always provide later more books. So please own one book. This is the book, a must book that you should have in your homes. So kindly opt for it. And we are really thankful to Maharaj and Neha-ji and her good husband to host this session. I hope you liked it. I hope you're happy to continue the journey also. Say yes. Thank you so much. And with Maharaj's